Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Headbangers Closet. Appreciate everybody checking out the channel. Hadn't done a video in a while. Kind of been missing in action, I guess, for like the last month or so. Been pretty busy with work and stuff like that. Went and seen a couple shows in Atlanta. Went to see Metallica in Mexico City. Just got back last Monday. Awesome shows, bucket list shows for me as a Metallica fan. Mexico City, ever since Live Ship Binge and Purge came out, which got the big poster behind me. That was a complete game changer for me when that came out. I was already a massive Metallica fan, but as a kid, like, it was difficult to find live stuff, and that was like the first real live, CDs that I could get. So lived and breathed it for years to listen to those CDs all the time. But because of that big bucket list show for me, so I had a great time. It lived up to the expectations, but I'm not really going to do a video on that. I'll do like a recap video of my Metallica summer tour, maybe down the road. We'll kind of talk about the shows and show the merch. But this video is just going to be stuff I've been listening to the last, I'd say, month or so. Been spinning on the turntable right behind me. So hopefully you guys dig it. Just some stuff I've been into, and hopefully you guys can check out some of these bands if you haven't listened to them before. So obviously Metallica. Listen to them pretty much every day. Kind of been binging on some of the most recent stuff. Death Magnetic from 2008. And I did a video a while back on my favorite post-Black album, Metallica records. And then I put all those albums out and took a picture and put it on Instagram. Well, the comments on YouTube were like, they kind of ran the gamut of almost all the albums, except for Saint Hanger, obviously. They ran the gamut of all the albums post-Black Album. But on Instagram, it was almost unanimous that people liked Death Magnetic the most, which I thought was kind of interesting. I didn't expect that. So obviously we have 72 Seasons, the newest one, and the one before that, 2016's Hardwired to Self-Destruct. These songs off these albums sound great live, and that's kind of one of the reasons I was binging on them prior to going, because I was really looking forward to hearing more from these albums at those shows. So that's why I was binging on them. Another band I went and saw. Actually, I'm gonna do this one last. So next we have Cavalera. This is the Cavalera Max and Igor reissue of Schizophrenia. I've talked about this one before on the channel. I like this one better than Bestial Devastation and Morbid Visions. I just think it's a better album. On the Clear Blue record, I'm disappointed. Maybe I read it wrong. I thought it was going to be like a sky blue. They're calling it Caraccio Vinyl. That's clear. It's cool, but the picture online looked way cooler in my opinion. Anyway, awesome record. Highly recommend checking it out. Really hope they come around to Atlanta and play. They did the Bestial Devastation's Morbid Visions kind of tour. My good buddy Joe got me a signed poster from Max and Igor to add to my collection. But I missed them on that tour, and I really hope they come around and play this album. It doesn't have to be in its entirety. Just come around and play Atlanta. I'd love to see them. Another album I've been listening to lately is brand new. It's Demiser's latest album. This one is, in my opinion, it's not as good as the last one. This is called Slave to the Scythe. The last one was called Through the Gate Eternal. Absolutely phenomenal. Just Blackened speed at its finest. More speed than Blackened, other than the vocals, really, in my opinion. But really, really good record nonetheless. These guys from South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, which is not too far from me. Really cool variant. This is Metal Blade Records. They call it Fire. Carpenter Ed Fire. I don't know how to freaking say that. Carpenter Ed Fire. Really cool looking vinyl though. Awesome stuff. If you dig speed metal, you don't even have to dig Blackened speed. If you dig speed metal or thrash metal in general, you'll like this. Just give it a listen. It's really, really cool. Great riffs, good solos. The vocal. Yeah, I think it's. I would say, if you like Enforced, check it out. It's like Enforced, in my opinion, with the music, just a little bit different style of vocals. So give it a listen. You won't be disappointed. Another brand new album. This is Corrosive's latest record. Came out about a month or so ago. These guys are from Canada. Picked this up in a pre-order, and they sent me a whole mess of stickers with it. So really, really cool. I loved their last one, so when I heard they were making a new record, I had to go ahead and pre-order it. And it definitely does not disappoint. Heavy, heavy thrash. A little bit of death thrash, I guess you could call it, but to me it's just more straight up heavy modern thrash. Give it a listen. Awesome stuff. And then, of course, Slayer Seasons in the Abyss just celebrated its 34th birthday on Wednesday, so I've been listening to a lot of this week. Great record. I think this is underappreciated of a Slayer record. I know when you talk about Slayer's best albums, everybody mentions this one, but damn, this record's freaking good. I haven't listened to it in a while, and I forgot how freaking amazing this album is. If I might have to do a new Slayer video and a new album ranking, because this thing's jumped way up there. But awesome album, Seasons in the Abyss. I can remember that. I mean, I got into Slayer probably around like 92 when I was in high school after this album was released, and I just remember seeing the video for that, thinking, dude, like how they let metal band go to the pyramids to shoot that video. But awesome record. Like I said, I'm probably going to do a different Slayer video, like a new rankings video, because I just love that record. So you guys know how much I love my 80s thrash metal. I got a couple albums here to talk about, kind of get them in order because they weren't in order. So we have Iron Angel, great stuff. This will be in an upcoming episode of underrated and underappreciated 80s thrash bands, as well as Onslaught's The Force, absolutely phenomenal record. And then one of my all-time favorite thrash bands rather, that I rarely talk about, and I gotta fix that. Agent Steel. This is Unstoppable Force. Absolutely love these guys. You know, the vocals, it's a little bit kind of power metal-y, but you know, it's that early 80s thrash where a lot of them were doing kind of power metal style vocals, in my opinion. But a great record, great thrash band. They were playing some shows last year, I think, and then they pulled out of them. They were doing Hell's Heroes, and they pulled out of it. So I think somebody said, oh, they did it again. So maybe like one of those where they keep trying to reunite or like get back out there, and then for whatever reason can't make it happen. But love Agent Steel. Got like 5 or 6 Agent Steel shirts from his bootleg place in Mexico, which I'll probably mention on my Metallica Mexico City video. But anyway, moving right along here. Oh, we got one more 80s thrash. Mayhem and Destruction by Mortal Sin. Awesome record. One of 2 different covers. This one's the better one in my opinion, but awesome album. One of my favorite 80s thrash albums. So moving right along, 2024, man. It's been the year of death metal. Yeah, you've got some good albums, some thrash albums, some traditional heavy metal albums, but death metal, man, and one of its finest is Necrot's latest release, Lifeless Birth. Absolutely phenomenal death metal record. Give it a listen if you haven't already. Super cool looking splatter vinyl right here. Let me show you guys. Black, white, purple, blue, gray. Awesome looking splatter. And this Sunday, going to see Testament, Kreator, and Possessed at the Clash of the Titans tour. Super stoked for that show. Love all those bands. Been a long-time fan of all those bands. I've seen Testament and Kreator a bunch of times. This will be my very first time seeing Possessed, and I freaking cannot wait. So I've just been listening to a lot of Testament lately. Getting ready for the show. Harmless Rebel, hope to see you there, dude. I'm fairly certain you're going to be at that one. Hope to see you there and hang out, grab a drink, chat with you. We got another new one. I talked about this one before, about a month or 2 ago. It's Oxygen Destroyer's latest record. Great, heavy death thrash. A little bit of blackened style vocals, black metal style vocals, but mainly death thrash. Buddy VK saw my video when I did a review of this album and loved the artwork and said he was going to check it out. So what do you think, VK? You dig it? Don't dig it? Let me know. But awesome record. Love these guys. Super heavy, modern death thrash. If you like that aggressive thrash metal, you're going to dig this. Check them out, Oxygen Destroyer. Then we've got the latest record from Toronto, just like Corrosive. These guys are also Toronto. Raiders, Trial by Chaos. Another death thrash band. A little bit more thrash, in my opinion, than the Oxygen Destroyer was, but kind of similar vein. Think, at least for Raider, think Demolition Hammer, but a little bit more modern, a little bit more produced. And that's what you get with Raider. Awesome stuff. Check them out. Great album. Really cool orange splatter vinyl as well. Next one, we have a really cool young band from the UK called Tail Gunner. This is their debut called Guns for Hire. I think this came out like 2023. Awesome record. These dudes just live and breathe heavy metal, which I love. I follow them on Instagram, and like everything they're posting, they wake up in the morning, it's heavy metal. They go to bed, heavy metal. Everything in between, heavy metal. Love it. Great new wave of traditional heavy metal. Think in the vein of Maiden, Priest, Dio, Grim Reaper, Accept. Bands like that. If you dig those bands, you're going to like these guys. Kind of like a new modern take on that traditional heavy metal sound. Awesome riffs, awesome solos, great vocals. And the way they tour, I mean, they've been touring constantly since this thing came out. Fingers crossed, 2025, dudes. Hit the States, man. But they've been touring so much, they kind of remind me of those early 80s thrash bands like Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, bands like that, where they weren't really getting airplay or MTV play, so they were just having to tour relentless to kind of build that fan base up. And that's kind of what these guys are doing. I think it's great. I love it. Awesome stuff. Check it out, Tail Gunner, Guns for Hire. And as I mentioned before, we have Kreator and Possessed. Really, really looking forward to seeing Possessed for the first time on Sunday. This is Kreator's Under the Guillotine. It's like a greatest hits 2 LP set. Gatefold, really, really cool stuff. Greatest hits right there. Pretty cool collector's item if you just like collecting vinyl. Pick this up. You can find it pretty much anywhere still. But it's gray and red splatter. Really, really cool looking vinyl. Sounds really, really good. So check it out, Under the Guillotine. It's a BMG release. I think it's Europe only, but you can find it like everywhere. So last but certainly not least, it's a band I've been wanting to see for a long time. I've been a fan of these guys probably since 2020, maybe 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. And I only think that because it was before I got my new house. So anyway, the band's Frozen Soul. Crypt of Ice was the first one I heard. Awesome. And this latest one, 2023's Glacial Domination. If you've been checking out my channel for a while, you might have seen my best of 2023 video. This was my favorite record of 2023. It's awesome. Not a skippable track on the album. Freaking phenomenal. And they've come to Atlanta a boatload of times since this album's been released. And for whatever reason, I'm always out of town and I can't make it. But they announced they were going to be on tour with Gatecreeper, and they were going to be a support act for Gatecreeper. And I was like, oh, dude, I got to go to that. So I got a couple tickets, went to the show. I love Gatecreeper. They put on a phenomenal show, but these guys were a support act. And I mainly went for Frozen Soul. And they come out there on stage, and there's no spectacle. There's like a couple of props, but they don't put on like some kind of like theatrical show. They just come out, freaking play, and kick your ass. I mean, it was an awesome show. So heavy, so hard. They played like my favorite songs from the Crypt of Ice and Glacial Domination. So good. I was so excited to finally get to see them. And they did not disappoint. They've only got a few more shows in the tour. They're in their home state of Texas. If you can go to one of those shows, I highly recommend it. They kick ass live. So anyway, there you have it, guys. Those are the records I've been spinning for about the last month. The records I've been spinning the most of for the last month. I'd love to talk about any of these with you guys. If you want to leave a comment and chat with me, would love that. Probably going to post some of these pictures on records on Instagram. If you want to follow me there, that's cool. But yeah, I'll get back into kind of the swing of thing, doing a video again next week. And like I said, if you're interested in my Metallica trip in Mexico City and Foxborough, I'll probably do like a recap video of that, maybe like in a few weeks or something like that. But anyway, appreciate everybody checking out the channel. Hope everyone has an awesome weekend, and I'll have another video for you guys very soon. Cheers, everybody.